All right, thank you so much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Apex One Radio. It is Saturday, November the 2nd, 2024. We are just 2 months to the end of this beautiful year which the Lord created. I'm talking about 2024, which is doing its very last quarter. Thank you so much for joining us on Apex One Radio this beautiful Saturday morning here in Columbus, Ohio, in the United States of America. We broadcast 24/7 from the state of Ohio, precisely from the chief city called Columbus. My name is Ernest Kanjo Maxell Agilis in Waldshut in Germany, controlling this first segment of broadcast on Apex One Radio. He's doing that digitally from that end. And so it's another Saturday, it's another day on radio. A special day, of course, special because today we are covering a special event. And so, talking about women, the Columbus Women Connect is a network of women who come from different organizations. And so they come together and continue their struggle to promote their kind in the immigrant community in Central Ohio. And so today, November the 2nd, the Columbus Women Connect is organizing the very first multicultural annual conference, which takes place here in Columbus, Ohio, precisely in the city of Reynoldsburg. And so it's happening today. Women have converged on that venue to showcase, their various cultural heritages, and of course, talk about the issues which they face. And so they've come from various religious, cultural, and even professional backgrounds. And so that event is taking place today, Apex One Radio. You would remember we promised you last week that we will be covering that event live. And so, like I said, the first multicultural annual conference organized by the Columbus Women Connect is taking place today under the theme Feminine Leadership and Advocacy Pathways to Social Cohesion and Prosperity. And so they're going to have a keynote speaker. The keynote speaker of the day, we are told, is Fran Frazier. She's a principal investigator, educator, racial equity advocate, and she at the women of or the YWCA. Then there will be a special remark from Lewa Rebecca, who is a Nobel Peace Prize laureate from West Africa. And so that event is organized by the Business for Peace Community Development, whose founder and CEO, Lindora Diawara, was guest on Apex One Radio last Saturday. And so we have our reporters on the ground at Rennersbeck who will be joining us to give us minute by minute commentaries on what will be happening at that event venue. And so, like I said, women from different backgrounds, but from the immigrant community here in Columbus, Ohio, are converging on Runnersburg today to organize the very first multicultural annual conference, which takes place today. So we have Danlet Washington and Shin Tebong, who will be joining us shortly to talk about this event. They will be giving us commentaries on what is happening out there. I guess our reporter is on the ground. She is ready to give us at least the introductory segment of this live coverage of the first multicultural conference, which takes place in Columbus, Ohio today, precisely in the city of Rennersburg. One Radio, which is the same time in Rennersburg. We now move over there to meet our first reporter, Danlet Washington, who is on the line. Danlet, if you're listening to us, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm glad to be here at the Messiah Lutheran Church. We are here for the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation Women Conference, where we were talking about feminine leadership amongst women, women empowerment, and so much issues that are happening within the women into the society. So the event has already started. Not to take too long, it's powerful. I saw amazing women here today, and I know that it's going to be good. So I think we can take the audience inside of the hall and let us see what's going on and listen to some of the speakers.
Yeah, Dalet, before you get into the hall, tell us who have you spotted so far? How is the turnout?
The turnout here is great, is amazing. The guest speaker is already here. The organizers are here. I saw some guests and leadership from the Liberian community and from the other immigrants community. So it's amazing. And the turnout is good.
Mm. Okay, so like you said, the event has already started. Perhaps you take us to the hall itself so we can, uh, observe what is going on. Does that work?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. As well as our reporter, Danlet Washington, who is on the ground, and the event has definitely started. We're talking about the first multicultural annual conference organized by the Columbus Women Connect. And like I said, the Columbus Women Connect is a network of women and female organizations. And so it's run under the theme, Feminine Leadership and Advocacy, Pathways to Social Cohesion. All right, so let's see what happens. Grace, Dalet, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we will be moving into the event hall proper. As we can see from Danlet's images, the participants are already streaming into the event venue. Okay, so we can see them seated already. Definitely, it started. Deliberations have started, and in the next couple of minutes, we will start getting some of the feedback from what is currently going on. But as at now, we can see participants seated and speakers addressing them. There should be a lot of deliberations going on November the 2nd, 2024. And like we mentioned, the Columbus Women Connect is at the helm of the organization of this first annual multicultural annual conference based under the theme Feminine Leadership and Advocacy, Pathways to Social Cohesion. This is Apex One Radio. We are live in Reynoldsburg, Ohio, where the first multicultural annual conference that has brought women from all backgrounds together has just kicked off. It is organized at a time when women are on the world stage, desiring to make their voices heard. Many thanks if you are just joining us. We will continue to live these great moments when women think that they should sound their own trumpet. And from
Wonderful,
Danlet's
wonderful,
images, we can
morning.
see a man who has mounted a rostrum. Let's listen to him.
Right? Y'all too young. Y'all don't know where opera is. Playing football those years and playing in college and high school, man, it hit me today. I got this morning hotel and I was like, wow, this is something. And then they put me on early. Boy, I should have told Comfort already got to go, but she got to go to the program early. Bless you so much for being here today. It was interesting. My godson, I got 5 minutes, so you give the preacher 5 minutes. I'll take 5 minutes. It's interesting. He's originally from Ghana, and he plays football for Ashland College. So they're playing the game today. So I usually pray for him for the game. So he hasn't called me about something so I don't know if he's called me. It's an honor to be here to have our governor, Mike DeWine, and Governor John Husted, as well as the Ohio Department of Development, at this remarkable first annual multicultural conference hosted by the Business Peace Community Development Foundation, the Columbus Women Connect. Thank you, Ms. Medora, for your vision and invitation to be part of this occasion. I want to also recognize one of the commissioners for the New African Women Commission, Commissioner Comfort. Thank you, Stan, Commissioner Comfort. Thank you so much. She was a very integral part of making sure that we finally got funding, so we now have a new executive director. I cannot wait. I might miss her, but Ms. Frey, just give her a hand. She's the keynote speaker. Let's give her a hand. I might not be able to see her speak, but I sit next to her from that. All the dignitaries and leaders here, thank you. Together we gather on the theme of feminist leadership and advocacy, pathways to social cohesion and prosperity. This theme captures the spirit and drive that empower women from all backgrounds, nurturing connections and inspire growth, both personal and professional. In this space, we're not only celebrating the diverse stories, talents, leadership of women across Columbus, but you're also breaking down barriers, encouraging solidarity, and paving the way for a stronger, more inclusive community. Ohio Department of Development, guided by our motto, empowering communities to succeed, stands with you and supports this mission. With representation from more than 100 countries around Columbus, and at least 20 nationalities united through this new women's collective. We will cultivate and share purpose that will resonate far beyond today. Coming together, you're helping to build bridges that will foster prosperity, advocate for justice, and uphold dignity for all. On behalf of Governor DeWine, to Governor John Husted in the state of Ohio, I would like to extend our warmest congratulations for the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation, Homeless Women Connect. May this conference be a lasting catalyst for empowerment, advocacy, and positive change as you continue to set the standards for inclusive, transformative leadership in Ohio and beyond. God bless you all. I love you all. Thank you so much.
We just listened to a gentleman there who lended his support to what the women are doing.
Make it work, sir, huh?
And that's what the organizer of this event, Lindora Tiawara, was emphasizing on radio a couple of days ago. She spoke of the need for men to add their voices to women's struggles. Thank you so much. If you're just joining us, welcome on board. We are covering the first multinational or multicultural annual conference organized by the Columbus Women Connect, which is a network of women and their organizations. And they're meeting for the first time to share their experiences, and of course, their
I asked her,
cultures.
I asked from the door, should I call down from the door? Yeah, she said, why you asked that question to me for? I'm sorry, I thought you were in Notre Dame. I didn't know what you did up there. Who's next? Come on. Let's give her a hand. Come on.
Thank you so much. And okay, that was our proclamation. And now I would like to call the president of the Columbus Veterans FC to stage.
Yet another speaker could be mounting the rostrum.
Hello, good morning. Are you all happy to be here today?
Yes.
All right, I'm also happy. So my name is Phil Kenfak. I'm actually the Secretary General of the Columbus Veterans. I'm here alongside my team out there. We have our treasurer, we are outgoing president also over there. So thank you all very much for inviting us. And we are also very happy to be here today. So when we talk about this event, this ties very close to our purpose and our vision as the Columbus veterans. We actually heard about this from Just Like You Foundation, one of those non-governmental associations that has been doing a lot for our community. And we know that the women are the backbone of our community in pretty much everything that we do. And we thought as much as the Columbus veterans. This is a group of men of all walks of life, doctors, pharmacists, nurses, that come together from the age of 35 and above to form this strong group. So the Columbus veterans, just a little bit of background of what they do and who they are. So in the United States, we have what we call the National Veterans FA. So they are in about 40 different states, actually. So every year, they come together in one of the states to hold what they call the National Veterans Cultural Festival and Jamboree, which is brought about by the focus of soccer, but they don't only do soccer, they do health campaigns, they do support maybe different, all kinds of food banks they give. They go support, they go to group homes, to different places just to support the community. So in year 2025, we happen to be bringing the National Veterans FA to Columbus. So Columbus will see over 10,000 participants plus in the city of Columbus.
If you're just joining us, this is Alex. We are currently covering the First Multicultural Annual Conference
Champion when it
by
comes to Women's
the
Day.
Columbus
We
Women's
organize
Connect.
events for the
Dr.
women
Phil,
in the community.
addressing the women.
We support them.
Let's listen to
Us
him.
as the men, we sit behind and take care of the babies at home and send the women to go out there and do what they do best. So, but we count on all of you. We count on our partnership with the Columbus Women Connect come next year. Please expect us to come to you and say, hey, this is another community thing. this is another avenue for us to come together as big groups and host this National Veterans Tournament coming to Columbus. We also count on the support of our city. We have been doing a lot of background work since we won this bid back in July to make sure that we have everything set up for next year, August 2025. Apart from that, we know that we could not just come here empty-handed. We are a non-governmental organization called the Columbus Veterans. But when we heard this, we went in our little conference and took a check of $500 just to support this. We'd like to see this happen. We'd like to see this happen again next year. We'd like to see this happen every other year. Long live the Columbus Women's Connect. Long live the entire city of Columbus and Ohio. Thank you very much.
And his name is Dr. Phil. Phil is the Secretary General of the Columbus Veterans Association. Phil is one of those who led the Veterans of Columbus to win the 2025 bid to host the National Veterans Tournament here in Columbus. So he was addressing
Okay, yeah. Before we call on
the conference, and he pledged his unwavering group and said that they are part of this community and the men have pledged to stand behind them, even if it means taking care of the kids while the women are out there, doing stuff that promotes the community. And so he also left a $500 check to CWC as the support of the Columbus veterans. The event continues.
Okay, yeah, no, I was saying everyone's stand up. So, thank you. Please have your seats. Before I continue, I just want to say to the veterans, thank you so much for being here. Lizzie, who is one of us, told us about you, and she said, "Oh, it's a group of men working together." And I said, "Wait, what? A group of men working together, and we are here talking about women coming to work together? Please make sure they come and say something at the conference." And we are glad that you all are here today. I find it very interesting. And we can learn from each other. We can work together. And I'm glad that you mentioned partnership. So, ladies, we have our first partner.
Lindora Jawara, the lead organizer of this event, re-emphasizing the need to have men join their voices in the
around 2002. The West Africa Network for Peace
men's
Building,
movement.
which is one for short.
She's speaking on the heels of
It has an office
the contribution of veterans of Columbus to this event.
They were working to promote peace because the region was heated with wars, crisis everywhere. And that organization was co-founded by Sam Baby Dole, and it was mostly men working together. And the only lady that was able to mobilize or bring to the table is said to her create a women's program. And this lady, Thelma Ikia, created a women's program, and her idea was that to be able to get more women involved into peace building, we would train 20, the 20 will go and replicate the training, and then we'll have a ripple effect, and eventually we have more women in peace building processes, and then voila, you have them at the table. And so that started. And so in Liberia, so they took 20 women and took them to the region in Ghana, and that's where the first training took place. Then they were mandated to go back to their countries, and each to go and train 20 women from their organization. When Lema returned to Liberia, they then decided to look at the membership of WANEP and called 20. I then worked for a youth organization called the National Association of Palava Managers. I was the woman lady at the secretariat. And if you know men very well, any paper that comes with women or woman on it, If there's a woman, you go. Right or wrong. That's what my experience tells me. And so it's just very few men that will step up because they are curious, they want to see. And so I was one of those. And then they trained us, but as we were being trained, there were bombardments. People constantly attacked the internally displaced camps, killed people, took their food. And then at the end of the training, which we hope to also do today at the end of this conference, we'll come up with a call to action, but a plan to let everybody know what we're going to do in our first year. At that training, we were asked to basically come up with a plan on how we will go back to our own organizations and train. And we're all very busy at writing our individual plans. And somebody popped the question, why are we planning to train women when our people are dying? Why? The facilitators couldn't answer. Every day on the radio, in the IDP camp, people are dying. They don't have food. And we are talking about training. Is that our priority? That was the question. And that question turned things around. And women in Liberia made a kind of history today that you hear Lima talk about, very briefly. And so we changed our plan, and something happened. But I'm very honored today to have worked with Lima, worked with the people and women of Liberia. We stood up against warlords. We've said enough was enough. The war ended. And we said the peace accord has been signed. But we're not satisfied. We are going to make sure that there's adherence. We were protesting daily. Rain or shine, we did what we could. The war ended. We elected our first female president, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And I came to Columbus and I made a call to women. And these women, a lot of them not even knowing me, put up their hands to say we are with you. And so sisters, I want to say congratulations, we are here today, but thank you for your support. Thank you for working with me to make this happen. Without you, we wouldn't have been here. And so I want to recognize in the room some of my colleagues. Back there, I see Mr. Adi Sofe, coordinator of the New American Program at the City of Columbus. And we have Mr. Alfred Athenia from the mayor's office. I didn't say you should sit back there, they chose to sit there, so thanks for coming. Okay, so do I just click? So we have a brief message for Lima. I said to her, Lima, I continue the journey. Can you come to Columbus and speak to the women and the young women and people of Columbus? And she said to me, Lindora, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to come because I will be in Africa. Sorry, I have it here somewhere. So she said to me, I will be in Africa. I would have loved to come, but I can't. And so, because of the same UN resolution 1325 that we talked about, she's also having a conference today in Ghana, and there are people from all around the world at that conference. So she couldn't. I said, please, please, please take 5 minutes and talk to the women, and she couldn't. But she sent us a video.
This is Apex One Radio. Thank you so much if you are just joining us. We are covering the First Multicultural Annual Conference organized by the Columbus Women Connect. Our reporters are on the ground, Shintebong and Danlet, Washington.
Is it on? Oh, it's on. I said
surely there is
Yeah, I put it on my.
going to be a video projection, and I guess that's the contribution. She is present in person, and so would want to make her contribution through a video, which is about to be projected to the participants at this multinational annual conference organized by Columbus Women Connect. Our reporters will be joining us shortly. Do not go away. This is Apex One Radio. Meantime, the first edition of the multinational, or not multicultural annual conference of women has just kicked off at Reynoldsburg here in Ohio. It is organized under the banner of the Columbus Women Connect, which is a network of women organization or female in Ohio. For those of you who are just joining us, thank you so much. It is a women's thing. Focuses on the women again on radio this Saturday, but then the men are always here to support women's initiatives.
All right, so we're going to move on and then we'll play it later. But we will share the video so you can watch it and have it on your own computer. Okay?
Apparently, there are some technical issues from that end. Reason why they have not been able to project the said video, but the events will definitely continue with other speakers, and we are assuming that later on there will be free deliberations going on. We do understand that when it comes to women, they can talk. Of course, this generation of women do not only talk, but they talk and walk the talk.
I am going to introduce the keynote speaker today. But before I do that, I just want to make a quick
The keynote speaker will be introduced
Ronald Todd introduced me as one of the
shortly.
commissioners. The new African
Frank
commission I represent women.
Frazier is a
Men.
principal investigator and educator
What do we do as the
and a
African
racial
women?
equity advocate.
We
She is
advocate
a Woman
for
of Achievement
the
awardee.
state of the title.
We will all listen to what she will say.
So I'm the person. We have a number of individuals that are on there. We're supposed to be 11 individuals who are advocating for development and implementation of policies and programs to address the needs of the Africans in the state of Ohio. Mr. Todd has been so instrumental in getting us off the ground. We had been in existence for a couple of years with no funding. But because we were so committed to having this done, we worked straight through and got it done. All right. And Mr. Todd, we say thank you. We now have funding to do our work. So you all, what you need to let us know, because we are advocating
really my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. Fran is a friend, but she's a woman of God and a woman of purpose. She had given me a shorter version of her Bible and told me this is what she wanted. And she brought a version today that is different and said to me, you don't have to read it all. Guess what? I'm reading it all.
Oh, no.
Because
no.
when you do great things, you want people to know what you are doing.
Tupper, don't read all that.
All right, I'll try to skip around. But I think, Fran, it's a disadvantage to you. Because we're here talking about women and the work you do here. So I think women need to know what you have done. Because you will help us do what we need to do. Because we have no idea. And sometimes we don't know where to go. We don't know what is happening in the state of Ohio or in the nation. So I will try to run through it, but I think it's a credit to you for them to hear the work you do, if you don't mind. Fran's area of expertise is her ability to present creative and insightful approaches to issues of high sensitivity. Her work in the area of cultural competency in the workplace, cultural competency training, and the creation of cultural specific programs in the social service field earned her the YWCA Women of Achievement Award in Racial Justice. She is an inspiring and proven facilitator, consultant, and trainer for over 30 years of experience, specializing in issues relating to structural racism, racial, and economic equity. Fran Frazier served as a senior associate of Everyday Democracy for over 20 years. Years of work. Everyday Democracy is a national organization that works to strengthen democracy by making authentic engagement and public participation a permanent part of the way we work as a country. This dialogue to change process leads from personal and connection to sustained action. Does that not sound familiar with what we're trying to do here? When Francis Curtis Frazier served as the administrator of cultural initiatives for the Department of Human Services / Department of Job and Family Services, she initiated several statewide programs and regulatory procedures to support the cultural competency of child welfare, public welfare, county agencies to provide services specific to the needs of African American, Latino, Appalachian, and Native American children and their families. Using the resources and dialogue process of Everyday Democracy, Fran served for several years as a consultant and provided technical assistance to the Ohio Mental Health and Addiction Services to address racial inequity in their services provision to people of color, specifically African Americans experiencing mental illness. Actions from the dialogues and recommended action steps have shaped improved state policies and procedures for both mental health institutions and clients of mental health services. Fran is an advocate of marginalized women and girls as a in action. She is a national speaker and presenter in this area. African American women and girls are Fran's special ministry since 1979. Fran has established programs, conducted retreats, and given presentations on issues of sisterhood, spirituality, development, and self-empowerment. Fran Frazier is the principal investigator of research study Rise, Sister Rise, placing Black girls at commerce. The research focused on trauma and resiliency of 411 African American girls in 4 Ohio states, Akron, Columbus, Dayton, and Lyon. Ms. groundbreaking research is an influential factor in the grounds and policies addressing trauma and the mental health needs of African American girls across the state of Ohio. Ms. Frazier now consults with national and statewide organizations in cultural competence approaches and trauma-informed services to address the needs of African American girls. Fran is also the creator of the Angel in Your Life preparation for girls, an inspired program especially for girls in the 5th through 9th grade. Their curriculum and activities are designed as a personal leadership program to assist girls in critical thinking skills, effective decision making, and academic proficiency. A primary focus of the Angel in You program is teaching girls how to communicate effectively and build community with each other. Over 1,000 girls participate in the Angel in You program. It is an effective after-school program. Fran now consults. I will skip around a little bit because she asked. Fran works with the school districts as a school climate consultant. She accesses principal, leadership, teacher moral, student behavior, and parent development. Ms. Frazier now consults with the national and the statewide and city organizations in cultural competent approaches and trauma-informed services to address the needs of African American girls. Her passion is facilitating skills in women and girls her passion is facilitating skills in women and girls that lead to resiliency and self-determination. This is awesome. She belongs here, and we are happy to hear what she has to say. Her passion, as we just said, you always hear about her passion. Rise Sister Rise, Black Sister Girl Rising, Inc. It's a think tank that was established in 2015. The Black Girl Think Tank was created to provide a safe space for girls to critically and analyze the dialogue about quality of life issues that affect Black girls in their community and school. Ms. Frazier has received many awards and commendations for her work, including Franklin County Human Services Community Award for the Rise Sister Rise Research Study, the African American Leaders Achievement Award, and her induction into History Makers, a national recognition of her work over the past decades. Fran is the member of the Grill, an international movement of women whose work and advocacy has changed the lives of women and girls throughout the world. A native of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, she holds a B.S. cum laude in special education from Norfolk State University and an MA degree in learning disability and behavioral disorders from the Ohio State University. It is my pleasure to bring up to stage Fran Frazier.
Good morning, sisters. Good morning. It is a real, I'm going to read my notes because otherwise I know I'll go like off script. It really is a pleasure to be in your company this morning. So I greet you in the name of peace, love, and sisterhood. I want to thank Sister Lindora, Sister Comfort, and the Columbus Women Connect Planning Committee for this incredible gift of speaking to you this morning. I want to ask the members of Black Horizons think tank to stand. about who's going to change the world, it's young sisters just like this. These girls are smart. They know how to do research. They know how to talk. They should really be the ones up here. They do incredible work. I'd like to ask the adult sisters of Black Girl Rising to stand. You know, one person can have a vision, but if you don't have people who buy into that vision doesn't go anywhere.
That's right.
And so it's real important that you have women who part of their path is being on your path. And so I'm just incredibly grateful to them. I also want to thank a special brother. Do you know Alpha Tonga?
I think so.
I think so.
President Alpha Tonga. He always makes room for me in the Liberian community, and especially among the sisters. Stand up, Alpha. I was going to say that whether he showed up or not.
I know, huh?
I'm not sure what he sees in me, but I am grateful for his caring. For he always makes sure I'm at the right place at the right time. Now, I don't know how I got this title as a Liberian grandmother, but I honor that title because I believe it's a blessing. You were to hear from an incredible woman, Lema Bowie, a God-fearing sister who, with hundreds of women behind her and the hand of God on her, stood bravely before the pharaohs of Liberia and claimed freedom for our children and families. I have to tell you, about 6 or 7 years ago, I heard an interview with Sister Lema on NPR. I was done. I was floored. I had not heard of a woman like her ever. I've heard of women of African descent in the 18th and 19th century, but not somebody today doing what she has done. I went and got a book. I made sure that I saw the documentary, Pray the Devil Back to Hell. And when I saw this flyer that Sister Lindor and Sister Comfort told me was all over the country, and I saw a picture of Sister Lema there, I truthfully just kind of lost my voice, got tongue-tied, because I realized what an incredible honor this is. There are many lessons we can learn from this dedicated woman and the women like Sister Lindora who stood with her. If I have the permission of the elder women in this room, I would like to talk about some of those lessons. Do I have your permission?
You do.
Thank you. Lesson 1. And this is really, you didn't get to hear this incredible woman, but I know you will. So all these lessons that I'm getting ready to share with you literally come from her life and what I have seen. So lesson 1, be in such a close relationship with God that when God calls your name, you know exactly who it is.
Yes.
You don't have to question it.
Amen. Amen.
Sister Lema, falling asleep in her office one night, she awoke from a dream where she said God had told her, gather the women and pray for peace. Some friends helped her to understand that that dream was not meant for others, as she thought, Instead, she realized it was necessary for her to act upon it herself. We are all called the same way. So how do you get that close to God? Just like you do with any other relationship. Stay in touch, call people up, you spend time, you share what's on your heart and mind. You are mindful of their presence in your life. So be mindful of the presence of God. Look for God. Don't get so busy that you forget that God is just a breath away. Sisters, pray without This is the only way we're going to get what we say we want. But mostly, ask God what you can do for God. Stay awake, stay aware. I want you to care so much for the plight of your people that your heart aches when you see racism, poverty, hatred, violence, discrimination, colorism, when you see what it is doing to your people, so that when you hear the voice of God, you know exactly why she's calling your name. Got me?
Yes.
Lesson 2. Whatever the mission is that God is calling you for, believe you're not doing this by yourself. Find out who else cares like you do and bring them with you. So I'm going to tell you something really personal about me. I became a widow at 28. I'd only been married for like a year and a half, and my husband got killed in a car accident. I literally was devastated. I mean, devastated. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life after that. I got really scared, and I asked God to help me, because I knew what I was thinking my next step might be. And truthfully, I felt something very warm over my entire being, but I didn't know what it was. So I went home. My friends told me that I looked different, I was acting different. They thought I was having a nervous breakdown and told me I should go home. So I went home, and my mother looked at me and she said, well, you look all right. You're not talking crazy. But I knew something had happened, but I just didn't know what it was, didn't know what to call it. And so one day I found out that what actually had happened to me was a visitation from the Spirit of God. I grew up in a religion that said that if you know that God is in your life, you should always ask God what it is that you're supposed to do next. I didn't find out until later that you don't really have to do that, because if you ask, then you're going to get something.
I know.
So, but I didn't know that then. So I was like, okay, you're in my life, and then I'm supposed to ask you, what would you like for me to do? And so what I heard was gather up women. And I was like, not doing that. No, I'm too introverted. I'm too shy. They're going to be looking to see if I got a run in my stocking. I'm like, can't do it. And So I didn't know that if you tell God no, that things don't work well for you.
Amen. Amen.
So for about 6 months, things were not working well. So I was like, okay, I'll do this, but only if you put the right women in my way. I'm not doing this by myself. So I started running into some of the same women everywhere, but I didn't know these women. So I would say, hi, my name is Fran, and I think maybe you might be one of the women that God wants you to help me out. Maybe like, it's not right with you. But I did. So all throughout my life, I have said the same thing, not doing it by myself. And so when you ask God to point out the women who will support and share your vision, you know that there's no time for jealousy, right? Like hearing about who God called first, or the fact that you don't like that sister, no time at all. Whether you realize it or not, right now we're still at war, right? Might not be the Civil War that Sister Lema and Sister Lindora dealt with and had to fight against. Although, if we're not careful, that might be coming. Nonetheless, we are at war. And truth be told, we're also sisters at war with each other. Can't seem to see the light of God in each of us. Can't find that place of blessedness because we're more concerned with foolishness that seems to creep around women when they aren't looking. So be careful. Don't let ideologies blind you to the goodness in your sister. Don't let religion or how she worships be the reason you can't show her love. Because here's what I know. When God made the universe, God made every star to shine in its own light. You don't see stars crowding over other stars trying to block out their light. Everybody trying to shine as much light as they've been given. Some of us have been given a whole bunch of light, which means then that we have more responsibility. Some of us have been given some light, but we still got to shine. Make your light as bright as you can, and that's what we're all called to do. Lesson 3. In Christian theology, we are told to love God, love ourselves, and then love your neighbor. Is that right? I'm sure this is true in the Quran and other sacred scriptures. Most of us wear our theologies. We actually look holy. We try to be holy. And we make sure that people we know that we love God. We go to church, we go to the mosque, we go to the synagogue, we pay our tithes, we work on church committees, we sing in the choir. So people kind of know who we are. We may even be known for loving others. Kind, compassionate, share gifts and talents. We visit the sick, we take care of the homeless, we go to prisons. But for some reason, when it comes to loving ourselves, we have a rough time. As Black women, we find it difficult to find beauty in ourselves. Now, we may like what people say about our thighs. We may like what people say about our butts. We may like what people say about our color. A lot of times, we don't like it. 2004, I fell down the steps. I broke my right wrist. I broke my left ankle in 2 places, and I sprained my right ankle. So I was that way. And I had to decide what I was going to do. And so I started, and maybe you all do this too when something happens to your body, start to love your body up. So every day I kiss my wrist. Every day I figure out how to bend down and send love to my ankles. Because what I realized is that only the love that is in me is going to heal what needs to happen to my body.
This is Apex One Radio. We are broadcasting from the United States of America. We are still
As
at
Reverend Todd
Reynoldsburg,
was saying, he woke up and
where
felt arthritis.
the First Multicultural Annual Conference of
I
Women
don't have arthritis in any of those
under
places.
the banner of the Columbus Women Connect
Because my
is taking place.
neighbors, they would come over and help me out. And so one of my neighbors said, when all this heals up, you're going to be able to tell what the weather's going to be from now on. And I said, no, I'm not, because I'm loving this body. If you don't love your body will let you know it's not being loved.
So true.
So I tell, sometimes when I'm talking to our girls or if I'm speaking at a girl conference, I will remind our girls that when you put that lotion on, you need to be saying, "Ooh, I love my arms. Ooh, I love these thighs. Ooh, I love my nose. I love my knees. I love my elbows. Ooh, I love my arms. Ooh." Get used to loving your body. It will be around for a long
Thank you if you're just joining us. This is Apex One Radio.
Once we begin, it will be around for a long
Thank you if you're just joining us. This is Apex One Radio.
Once we begin,
Thank you if you're just joining us. This is Apex One Radio.
what are you called to heal? Who are you called to heal? Now, I know many of us are tired. Zora Neale Hurston said that women are the mules of the world. Somebody is always trying to get us to do something. Zora Neale Hurston said that. Lema Bowie called out to the women in Liberia as I'm calling out to you. And I'm paraphrasing Sister's call. Yes, we are tired. Yes, we are tired of our children being killed. Yes, we are tired of being abused. Yes, we are tired of our girls being raped and raped. The sisters, it is time. I don't know whether you feel it, but there is a reason why there is a system. I don't know whether there's a reason why women connect in Columbus is calling you to come together. There is a reason why God is calling. Women, wake up, she said. You have a voice in this healing process and you cannot get weary. I want you to grab a sister's hand.
Fran Frazier is a consultant and trainee or trainer
And I want you to say to
specializing
her,
in
do
issues related
not
to
get
racism
weary.
and racial equity.
If God is for us, those who are against
She
us
serves as a senior
have no power.
associate for
There's
Everyday
no
Democracy, a national organization based in Connecticut. She doubles as keynote speaker for this event.
Don't be afraid because
Let's
your
continue
God
to
is with
listen to
you.
her.
Open your mouth, speak your truth, use your voice. I'm not suggesting that we have to march downtown, but what I am suggesting is that we make our presence known. that we show up and we show out. We gather to make our voices heard. And if you don't like what's being taught in schools or how your children are being treated, take off a few hours and sit in your child's classroom. And if the teacher don't want you there, go sit in the principal's office and watch what happens. Women around the world are waiting for Black women to stand up and use their voice. They are waiting for us in this country not to be afraid and use their voice. Waiting for us in this country. If the food at your grocery store is too high, or the quality isn't good, say so. It's your money. If the food at your grocery store is too high, make your presence felt in every area that affects the quality of our lives. Because you have that right. I work with your daughters every day. Here's some of the things they say that affect their mental and emotional health. Because you have that right. That they really wish you could understand. Because you have no idea how much your daughters need you right now. They're tired of this strong Black woman stereotype where you just got to handle everything all the time. They're tired of it. They're tired of being sexualized, not being comfortable in their own bodies. They're tired of having to defend themselves when they go to white schools. They're tired of being sexualized. And they can't get you to listen to them because you always giving advice. They just want you to hear them. They know your story already. They know you walked 6 miles to go to school. They know you had holes in your underwear and in your socks. They know about all of that. They know your story already. They just want you to hear them. They know you had holes in your underwear and in your socks. And they're tired of being adultified. Having too many responsibilities, don't even know what child is like. Tired of it. And they're tired of being adultified. If you raise your boys like you raise your daughters, they'll make better husbands. I'm just saying. We want our girls to have the right kind of lives, but we don't raise our sons the way we raise our daughters. Got me? So that's why we're having trouble on a regular basis, and our girls are experiencing this. So look, Black woman, you are the change agent. I want you to think about all the times you have said, usually
conference,
with your hand on your hips, an attitude,
urging women
and
to
your right leg
show up and
stuck
show
out.
out, especially Black women living in the
Tell
United
people,
States of America.
I mean this.
The speaker
This is
says
me.
the rest of the world,
And I'm surrounded by all my other sisters
especially
who got their hands on their hips,
the women folk,
got their right legs
is
stuck out,
looking up to the Black woman living
and
in the
ready
United
to
States
make
of America
change.
to speak up
Dear sister, use your
and
voice
be
for
the voice
us.
of
Allow the Spirit of God to speak
women
through
across
you.
the
You
world.
are worthy. You've always been worthy. I love you.
She has just run off her address. And she's been speaking to participants at the First Multicultural Annual Conference of Women, organized under the banner of the Columbus Women Connect. We will be joining our reporters shortly so they can begin to diagnose or dissect what is being said at that conference. And of course, speaking to some participants who would have been gathering a lot of insights as we speak. So let's see if our reporter Shane is ready to join us.
That is true.
But
I
as of
know
now, I can see Lindora, who is
when
the main
we carried
organizer of
out
this
that
conference.
action, what was
She's
interesting
coming back
about the
to
meeting
wrap
was
up
that for
from
the first
where
time in the history of
the
Nigeria, when women were
uh,
mobilized, they were both
keynote speaker ended. So let's find out if
into
Shin
the
is about to join us
perspectives in war.
uh, right now.
Not only
She
that,
should be
but
doing that
as part of
shortly.
that whole mobilization
And
process, everyone wants the president
when
of
she
the
does,
women
she'll definitely be speaking with
organization.
some of the visitors at that
So the
conference.
first women
Let's see
also
if
the
Shane is
center
ready.
of what we did.
If she
Yes,
is,
thank
then
you
we
for
will
reminding us, friend, that
hand the
women are
microphone
very
to her.
busy, but there is a God
Shane
who gives us strength to continue this
Tebong,
journey.
are you ready?
Thank you.
If you are, good morning and welcome. Let us try to reach out to our reporter on the ground, Shin Tebong. Shin, good morning and welcome. Are you ready?
Yes, Ernest, good morning.
For now, we have a special performance.
At the events right now, we had the guest speaker who just spoke, and she had wonderful advices. She had wonderful experiences that she shared. So now we are right before me. We have the members of the veteran Columbus. We have the president and
The former president.
the former president.
The former president and the current secretary general.
Thank you so much. So we have the current Secretary General and the former president of the Columbus Veterans, Columbus. So they assisted the event, and I have some few questions for them. To begin, I'm going to ask Dr. Phil. So you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
We are actually live on Facebook. If it's on video.
Thank you. Thanks. It's
Okay.
always a pleasure being here.
How are you doing today?
We're doing good. You know, this is a good event. When you go to some place that they do good things, they could do things for the community. We are very motivated and we're happy to be here.
Okay, so what does coming to a conference, the women's conference of this nature, mean to you?
Um, there is one particular word that resonates with us so much as the Columbus veterans. That is connecting and city empowerment, and that is basically what they do. Um, so coming, it's a women conference, and some people might ask like, hey, why are these men here, right? Because we know that the women are the backbone of the city, every country that we have. It's a fact. It's a fact these days. And when the women have such an event like they do, we have to come out as the men to support them, to support their vision, because it is something that is being done for our city. Without the women pushing, things are not going to move in the direction that we all see. So that's why we to support them.
Thank you for the support. So I would like to ask the former president of Columbus. Can you explain how the veteran Columbus got involved in such an event?
The Columbus veterans are a community group, community oriented group. So everything that touches the community, everything that touches the community, and especially very, very interested to know exactly what is going on there. So for us, this is the kind of event that goes align with our objectives.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Shin.
Coming back to um, Mr. Dr. Phil, so what place do women occupy in the Columbus veteran setup, even though we know this is a purely men organization?
Thank you very much for the question. Um, Women are a very instrumental part of our agenda. They are not part of the membership, but our vision and our agenda has women in the highest state in a good position because one, you could say that we do organize what we call the Columbus Veterans Family Day. It's a day where we invite pretty much our women and kids to make sure that they come out and give it back to them they have the maximum fun. We always do this. We've been doing this for the past couple of years now. Yeah. Also, we partner with Just Like You Foundation on Women's Day. We make sure that the Columbus support the women to go out there and do the kind of things they do best. We, as the men of Columbus veterans, on those days we sit back home, take care of the kids, send the women to go out there and have fun. Go out there and do what they do best in the community. Also, we have other programs now, like health campaigns that we bring women. Particularly, we are now trying to get a partnership with the Columbus Women's Connect, you know, where they have their events that are mostly centered for women. Even if we are not there presently physically, we will always make sure we have with someone. We can send out our financial support. We can send out our membership if we need to volunteer with them. We always try to do that.
Thank you.
Dr. Phil, yes, Lee.
Every great lady, there's always a great man supporting.
Aloshin,
Yes, NS.
yes, can I ask a question to Dr. Phil?
Of course, of course.
Yes, Dr. Phil, are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So, Dr. Phil, welcome to Apex One Radio. We do understand that the veterans of Columbus will be hosting the National Veterans Tournament in 2025. That's a big event, and you also announced that in the hall, you know, uh, shortly. So, tell us, what role will women be playing, in the organization of this very significant event which Columbus will be hosting next year? Apart from just accompanying the men to the football pitches to watch the games.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ernest, and thank you for that question. As you might have heard me spoke earlier in the, this is no longer a Columbus Veterans affair anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is a city affair. The tournament itself, if anyone have been to the previous ones that were held, for example, Maryland, Atlanta, and just coming back from Minnesota, you will realize that this is just bigger than a group on its own. The Columbus veterans did the brainwork. They did the assignment to win this bid. And I remember we won this bid at the Apex One Radio studio. We were there live when we won this bid. We've been struggling for the past 3 years. But again, coming back to your question on the women's role on this tournament, just with the fact that it is no longer the Columbus veterans affair only, it has a lot of involvement with the women. For instance, the colorfulness of the jamboree, as I would call it, is due to the presence of the women. We saw in Minnesota that the women came out there and were acting as the team doctors. They were doing health campaigns. They were doing health screening. The women came out there and they had fan clubs and so many other things. The women are vendors. The women do presentations in the NVT village. So anything that the women touch in the community will be quite involved with this National Veterans Tournament coming to the state of Ohio, Columbus City next year.
Okay, let me go to the former president of the Veterans of Columbus. So, in the past, it was just a men's affair, but over the last few years, we've seen women quite involved in the affairs of the Veterans of Columbus. Tell me, how did this come about? And secondly, um, what have the women been saying? How have they been doing, as far as getting involved with the Veterans of Columbus? And how would you evaluate their contribution so far?
Thank you for that question, Ernest. Women has always been a big part in our agenda. Over the years, we involve them in our gatherings. We always organize events in Columbus, such as volunteering, partying, end of the year parties, uh, Valentine's parties. All those events will not be successful without the involvement of our women.
Mhm.
And as you know, Veterans of Columbus is a group of adult men, meaning that behind every Veterans of Columbus member is a woman. Behind every one of them is a woman. So we are very concerned, very involved in anything that concerns women health,
Mhm.
in anything that concerns women's well-being, and in anything that concerns women's safety. So we are very involved in all those stuff. So that put our organization in the center of everything that involves women.
Mm. All right, back to Dr. Phil. And my last question, Dr. Phil, ahead of this great organization that is coming up next year, what appeal do you have for women, not the ones that are attending this event, but women in the immigrant community, particularly?
Thank you so much, Ernest. And thank you for your service to the community and everything you continue to do. So I have just one simple appeal. We, as the Columbus veterans, have done the assignment that we are here to do by
Mhm.
winning this marvelous tournament that will bring 10,000 plus participants to Columbus next year. And again, just to add it, we have another one coming up. It's a smaller one coming up in the Memorial Weekend of
Mhm.
May 24th, 25th, and 26th. And the bigger one, the most prestigious one, is the National Veterans Tournament coming up in August 28th, 29th, 30th, and September 1st of 2025. So we are appealing to all our women in Columbus, most especially our women of color, the African community, to come out, come out and showcase what Columbus is. This is something that is putting the entire city in the map. I remember, and we've seen it in the newspapers, just coming back from Minnesota, there has been a lot of applause and appreciation to the city of Glen on hosting such a marvelous tournament. This tournament, in estimates, bring over $7 million francs CFA in expenditure just to the city alone. So there is a lot. There is a lot out here, guys, and particularly our women. We are appealing. We know that you guys have been there, but we are asking for more support, particularly coming next year. We are here to answer any questions. You can always reach out to us. You can write us at info at Columbus Veterans FC, and we'll be ready to answer any questions that you guys might have for us. But we'll be reaching out more, and as we'll be coming to you more often than before on certain programs to talk more to our community folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Wishing you the best as you prepare for this wonderful rendezvous coming up in 2025. Shin, are you there?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Hello, Shin.
Okay.
Hello, Shin.
It was a privilege having you. So, and this here we are. We are going to have
Yes.
other attendees. They are going to be sharing the experience of what they learned and what brought them here. So, in a minute, we are going to bring new attendees. So, over to you, Ernest.
Thank you so much, Shin and Grace. We are live at uh, on Apex One Radio. We are live at Reynoldsburg and, of course, at the northern belt of the city of Columbus. Welcome if you are just joining us. Our uh, reporters are out there on the field and they are giving us live commentaries from Reynoldsburg at the venue of the first cultural annual conference of women. It's organized under the banner of the Columbus Connect,
Of
Columbus
course,
Women's Connect.
that's
Yes,
right.
Shin. Yes, Shin.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful. So We are actually on a break now.
Okay.
Before the break, the guest speaker had a beautiful speech that she gave. She shared a lot of thoughts that were very encouraging and very helpful. And we just want to give a brief summary of all what she said, because she said a lot of inspiring stuff. So I and Grace are going to summarize it in our own words for those who didn't get it completely. Okay, Grace, what did you actually get from what the guest speaker explained?
Um, what I got, first of all, the guest speaker, her speech was amazing and it was empowering. And what I got was for us as women to use our voices and be able to empower ourselves. And another thing that I got from her that I really, really liked was when she spoke to mothers to raise their sons the same way that we raise their daughters. So that I believe that she said that so there aren't so much pressure on women, because there are so much pressure on women from society where they expect women to do it all. And when their sons grow up, they just put all the pressure on women. They expect women to do everything in the home. So she was simply saying the way that you raise your daughters, the things, the skills, the basic life skills that you would teach to your daughters, be able to teach them to your sons, so that way they can become good fathers and good husbands. What did you get?
That's true. Exactly. That's what she said. And precisely on this issue of raising your male kids as you will raise your female kids. So the pressure shouldn't be just on the women alone. So, in addition to what Grace said, she empowers women, she empowers the women that we should not be afraid. We should always learn to take the first step and do what we want to do. We have to make our presence felt. Each woman has to make her presence felt wherever she is at any time. And as well, she said women have to be comfortable in their own bodies. They should not mind what people say about them, the kind of discriminations they get. Be very comfortable in your own body. And to conclude, she said to all the sisters, to all the women, that each woman, each sister is worthy. You're worthy. Thank you.
And so while they're on break, we're going to go around to speak to some of the guests at the event. We will speak to the guest speaker. We will speak to Madam Lindora Howard Duabari, who's the founder for the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation, and so many other amazing women here. We learned a lot today. We're having a wonderful time. So as Shannon is here, we'll go around to get some women to speak to.
Okay.
Beautiful. If you're just joining us, thank you so much. This is Apex One Radio. We are live from Rennersburg and from the northern belt of the city of Columbus. Our reporters are on the ground and doing their job. Welcome if you are just joining us. Meantime, the conference is organized under the theme Feminine Leadership and Advocacy, Pathways to Social Cohesion and Prosperity. Welcome if you're just joining us. This is Apex One Radio. We are live from the United States of America.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sing out your battle cry under the sage sky. Oceans and land divine, united we feel inside. The world is
There is a performance currently going on that sounds Indian. Beautiful performance, of course, and that's what women are able to do.
the world is
We are in Reynoldsburg, Ohio. The station is Apex One Radio. November the 2nd, 2024, we are live.
The world is the world is
A beautiful performance. A beautiful performance there. Like I said, that sounded Indian, and definitely it was an Indian piece there performed by one of the Congress or conference
Now
participants.
it's Dr. Laura. That was really
So let's
good.
see what happens next while we wait for our reporters to get on the camera and continue to provide us with insights of what is happening at Reynoldsburg. This is Apex One Radio. My name is Ernest. Maxel Adil is producing this broadcast session from Waldshut in Germany. Yet another performance. So as soon as our reporters are ready to get on camera, we will reach out to them. So I don't know if Grace is ready. Uh, Grace Danlet, if you are ready with your guests and you can speak now, then we are ready for you. Are you ready, Grace? Apparently, she cannot hear us. Danlet, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Danlet? Are you able to hear us, Danlet? Okay, this is Apex One Radio. Danlet, are you able to hear us? Okay, we cannot hear you, Danlet. Danlet, are you able to hear us? No, we cannot. We cannot hear you. So, meantime, this is Apex
All
One
right, can you
Radio.
hear me?
I can hear you now, 5 on 5. So you can go ahead
Thank
with
you.
your guests.
Thank you. I'm here with one of the guests at the Business for a Peace Community Development Foundation. We are here at a women's leadership conference where we have diverse group of women here from different backgrounds talking about feminine leadership and other issues that are happening amongst women. And we have a very special guest there. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm doing good. You look good, by the way.
Oh, thank you. So do you. I love the yellow.
Thank you. Briefly introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Hi, I'm Malaya Hale. I'm a part of the Black Girl Rising think tank. I work with Sister Fran alongside other girls to make sure that we're putting Black girls in areas of success, educating our community, educating Black girls so that they are able to succeed and become the best versions of themselves.
That's amazing. What inspired you to attend this event today?
I would say what inspired me to attend this event today is as a Black girl, we live in a society where our voice are constantly silenced. We are told we are not good enough. So I wanted to hear from other Black women to hear kind of their perspective on leadership, advocacy, prosperity, and etc.
That's amazing. So the event, we listened to the guest speaker and to other women speak today. What is one thing that you got from this event today?
One thing I can say I got from this event today was that be you, take up space. Do not be afraid to speak your mind. Go into a space and be your authentic self because only when you are your authentic self are you able to create change within your community.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Hope we see you around.
Absolutely.
Hello,
Thank
Grace.
you.
Mhm.
Hello, Danlet.
Yes.
Can I
Yes.
can I ask her one question before she
Yes.
leaves?
Oh, yes, sure.
Yes. Malia, welcome to Apex One Radio. If I heard you well, you said you belong to an organization that helps to position Black girls to succeed. Could you just tell us about your track record? Have you success stories which you can share to us? Where are some of those girls you've placed in positions of success? Tell us some successful stories you've had with your organization so far.
Um, I could not hear him very well. What did he
Oh,
say?
he says, since you work with the Black Girls Rising,
Mhm.
what are some of your success stories and some of the girls that you have empowered? What are some stories that you can tell?
So over our summer, we had our wellness camp, which we were focusing on the mental and emotional well-being of Black girls, where we had created a space for them to come, and we were communicating about safety issues, their mental and emotional well-being. And I would definitely say during that event, I would definitely say not only was I able to make friends, I was also able to have really deep emotional conversations and really understand them and where they come from. Um, and I would say for them personally, they were able to grow from this experience just from the knowledge that was provided there. So I would definitely say that is something that um, was very impactful.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was nice talking with
Thank
you.
Absolutely. Thank
Thank
you.
you. We have another special guest coming up, Mr. Albert Wilson. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
We see him today. We see him today in the hall, out of the hall, busy taking pictures, helping with some technical issues. He's doing a lot. Tell us what you do for the foundation.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Albert Freeman Wilson. I live in New York. I'm the business. I am the director for the community for business associate for community empowerment, and I have been with the institution since the foundations of it, and we have worked together to establish a couple of things, like a couple of events that we've been hosting around the world. We were able to host the first, the second, and the third CSW in New York, and we have the one that coming up in 2025, which we're trying to organize with in collaboration with other women from Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, and the United States.
That's amazing. So, as a man, you're here in a space where it's crowded with women, and you're here supporting, attending events, and working for the foundation. Why do you think it's important for men to be here and to support women?
I believe that men should be able to stand as the backbone to women, and women cannot make it alone without a man. A man is a supporter. He stands as the head of the home when the woman cries or the woman needs support. So, my role with the institution supporting the women is to provide technical support as well as some sort of assistance as where we can be able to create the environment where women can have that safe space
Yeah.
to live and be able to develop and grow more and more.
Thank you so much. So
I
we
I
have
have I have one question for him.
yes.
So we love to tell stories, sir, especially success stories. What is that one thing which you would point at and say that my organization did this to a woman or to a women's group and we had these wonderful results? Can you tell us just one story?
Oh yes. So when the founder and the CEO of this institution uh, met me and discussed with me her dream, and I actually took it as being part of me because as a man coming back from Liberia, we have 14 years of civil war, and after the 14 years of civil war, I worked with women organizations in Liberia where I was supporting women to provide mentorship. And then in that light, I was able to develop the passion to help women sustain, most especially when it comes to economic empowerment and sustainability. In that, we decided to say, look, let us find a way to see how best we can be able to support women worldwide. So what do we do? So we decided to say, okay, we would decide to host the CSW, which is the Convention on the Status of Women. So when we finally had a conclusion, we organized it, mobilized women. We brought them to New York the very first time, the second time, and the third time. So we didn't stay there. We said, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to go back to Liberia, Nigeria, Ghana to be able to provide safe space as well as supporting women in terms of macroeconomic development, as well as supporting them in their livelihood. Because if you support a woman, she's able to support her kids, most especially single mothers. Most of them have kids or children that they cannot support. So if you provide the support for them, they will be able to pass that support to their kids. So we formed a group called the cooperative. It's like a cooperative system that we develop so that we can be able to provide that economic support to them. So today we have a group of women in Liberia, and we came back to New York. We formed a group among the women where we already have over 700 women in New York, most especially Staten Island, that we usually meet and have community programs and activities in the community. So
Thank you.
those are the reasons why I was there to lead some of these things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Mr. Wilson.
You're welcome.
Well, that was Mr. Wilson. He's one of the members of the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation. We are still here. We will have more people to talk to. We have next coming up the founder for the foundation, and we'll also speak to the guest speaker. But we are having an amazing time here. Amazing people. We just had a cultural performance, and we have another one coming up. So we are still here talking to more people. We are having a good time. We are learning so much more. So we will take you inside of the hall and around as we go around to talk to more people. Back to you, Mr. Ernest.
Thank you so much, Dalet. This is Apex One Radio. We are still live at Rennersburg, where the Multicultural Annual Conference for Women is taking place. It's organized by the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation, whose founder was on Apex One Radio last week. Of course, she's in the hall. Welcome on board if you are just joining us. Earlier, we listened to Fran Frazier, who is a consultant and trainer, and she spoke to the women, and Shin and Danlet have just summarized what she said, and I picked out a few things which she said, but her key, her key message was that the women need to stand and be the voice of not just other women, but the world globally, because when it affects the woman, it has affected the rest of the world. We've also listened to men speak, including the Secretary General and the former president of the Veterans of Columbus, who came here today to talk about the veterans and how they are open to female participation, and how they are getting set to host the National Veterans Tournament next year and would need the support of women in this community. We will continue to follow up with this conference and see what we have next. So let us go back to the hall and beam some of the images of the activities there to your devices.
Because right now they're already working on that. They're doing the workshop, they're working on the cards, they're working on the questions. My question is how the workshop is the youth they're working on. And then they have I see people discussing. Yeah, they're discussing now. The discussion is around there. Who's gonna come?
All right. Mr. Ernest, are you there? Just in a moment, we will have the guest speaker here.
Lunch.
So we would like to talk to her briefly.
What time is it?
Okay, we are having our reporter coming up again. Can you hear me, Danlet?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
And
Yes,
then
sure. Thank you so much for joining us again. Any news from that end?
Yes, we have the guest speaker that will be coming up in a moment so we can speak to her.
Okay, the keynote speaker, Frazier, if I'm not mistaken, and so she joins Danlet on their rostrum. Over to you, Danlet.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to meet you and nice to have you here on Apex Radio. So here, right by my side, is the keynote speaker for today, Madam Fran Fraser, and she gave an amazing speech. How do you feel today?
I feel excited.
Yeah.
I really do.
You look amazing, by the way. I like the outfit.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So, what inspired you to attend this event today and to also serve as the keynote speaker?
I really believe that what Sister Lindora and Sister Comfort and the committee is doing is exactly what needs to be happening right now. Women really do need to come together regardless of their background, regardless of their religious beliefs, because the work, I believe, has to be done by women. And this is really an incredible start.
That's amazing. One thing that I got from your speech was for women to raise their voices and for mothers to also raise their sons the same way they raise their daughters.
Absolutely.
So what is the mindset behind that? Why do you think women it's important for women to raise their sons the same way or the same skills that they instill into their daughters? Why should they instill it into their sons?
Because if we want our families to be strong, if we want our communities to be strong, we can't raise our daughters to be the only strong one, but let our men, kind of boys even, kind of do what they want to do.
Yes.
They need to be held to the same set of standards that we have for our daughters.
Yes. That's amazing. Mr. Ernest, do you have any question for
Yes, I,
our
I, I
guest
do
speaker?
have questions. First, thank you so much for joining us, Miss Frank. So, my first question is this: we still do not see women in so many leadership positions, especially political
Yes.
leadership, even though one of them is running for the US presidency.
Yeah.
But the world still has the impression that women are not supporting their own enough. We see them go for elections, but at the end of the day, they do not win. So, do you think that women are supportive enough of their kind? If not, what is it that women need to do so that other women or more women are seen, especially in political leadership positions?
I think we're getting there. I think what we're finding out is that our daughters who are younger than us are finding out that collectively they have more power together than they do individually. When I was growing up, I got different messages about how to be with other women. I was told that we didn't trust each other, that we didn't care about each other, that we were jealous of each other. But what we're finding out now is that the girls who are coming up, the young women who are coming up, they don't believe that anymore. They're finding out that together, if I care about me and I care about you, then the both of us can care about our community. And if there are more of us who are doing the same thing, we can make the changes. And I think that for whatever reason, there's this attitude, and it's worldwide. It's not just in the United States, it's not just on the continent of Africa, that somehow women don't know how to be political. We're political every day.
Yep.
We manage things in a way that men could not even think about. And for me, that's being political. We just need to take that same energy and power and begin to make the changes we need to make.
So a while ago, we spoke to other men who are attending this conference,
Yeah.
and so increasingly we see men getting involved in women's affairs. How would you evaluate this collaboration, and do you think that women need more men to come on board and talk about women's issues?
I'm really glad that the men are here, but I also think that these are enlightened men. These are men who know the power of women. They know the power of their wives. They know the power of their mothers, and they respect that. I'm just hoping that more men will be comfortable enough with the power of women to say, we support you. And I think the more men step out and provide that support, more other men will do the same thing.
Hmm. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
thank
Briefly,
you.
she's also the founder of the Black Girls Rising, correct?
Yes.
So having such an organization that catered to Black girls, what was the inspiration behind founding such organization?
Truthfully, it's to make sure that all of our girls know that they have power
Mhm,
and that they have a voice
mhm,
and they do not have to be quiet.
mhm. That's
Okay,
amazing. Yeah.
maybe a last question, since she just mentioned your organization, Black Girls Rising.
Yes.
So my question is this: you probably would have had this organization for a while now. Do you think the Black girl has risen? If not, when do you think she's going to rise? As a matter of fact.
Actually, we're 15 years old and I am watching girls rise every day
Mm.
because they have permission to rise,
Mm.
because there are women who are supporting them and there are men who are supporting them. So as long as our girls are rising, we have nothing to worry about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, my Fraser. We really, really enjoy your speech and we're glad to have you here. Hopefully next time we get to have you in our studio.
I'd love that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get your card and thank you so
All
much for
right.
talking
Thank
to
you
us.
very much.
Thank you. You know, do picture?
Meantime, if you're just joining us, this is Apex One Radio. I guess our reporters are back on the rostrum. Let's see what they have now. Shin Dunlett. Well, I guess they're about to take some pictures or some snapshots with the keynote speaker at that multicultural annual conference, which is taking place at Ranasburg, Ohio. You can see the women are still busy in the hall. So let's find out what Shin and Danlet have. Danlet, so tell us what is going on now.
For now, they're still doing some another performance. They're getting ready to go for another cultural performance.
Mhm.
So we will take you guys in the hall so the audience can see exactly what's going on. The first performance was amazing, and I cannot wait for the audience to see the rest of the cultural performances.
Meantime, you are on to Apex One Radio. We are broadcasting from the United States of America. It is Saturday, November the 2nd, 2024, and we are live at Reynoldsburg. Shin, Danlet, Anas, and Maxwell, the the four-man team that is keeping you company this Saturday afternoon. Maxwell is in Walsut in Germany. Sheen and Danlet are in Ranasburg, Ohio, and of course, Ernest is at the northern belt of the city of Columbus, and we are all reaching you on your digital devices this Saturday morning here from Apex One Radio. Scores of women have gathered here in Columbus to discuss their issues and to showcase, some aspects of their respective cultures. And so this event is organized by the Columbus Women Connect with the lead of the Business for Peace Community Development Foundation, which is led by Lindora Diawara. So we'll leave you to watch some images of what is going on in the hall again. Then we'll be right back with you. So far, so good. Do not go away yet.
Oh, not listening. Any other challenges?
Okay. A good counter opinion.
Oh, a good opinion. Counter.
Counter.
So some people what's Siri? I know, right? Look at that over here. Okay, anybody else? Sometimes their advocacy can be unrealistic. Some people will say, you're eating too high, but yeah, unrealistic. Okay, so we'll just move on quickly.
If you advocate, sometimes you have to say, you have to have empathy.
Oh, empathy. Okay. Empathy. And I'm going to give you. What about the opportunities? What are some of the opportunities that we, as the older kids, as the Gen Z, what about the Gen Z is greater than 12 and under 28? What are some of the opportunities for advocacy?
I think right here, programs like this, like Black Horizon, these community events that we have, is like a great way to promote advocacy because everybody's gathered around, everybody hears your voice, your opinion, what you're thinking about, what you're doing wrong. There's like a group of people with ages gathered around, like they can all hear the opinion that you have and advocate for the cause of justice.
Good. So, organizations, okay. Anybody else from the big people table? From the Gen X table?
I think it's sometimes in the advocate coming to talk to people in knowledge because some kids can be so mad, they don't want to listen, when they hear you present.
Okay. Anybody else?
School, at church, at a grocery store, like anywhere you go. At a playground, at the park, especially at a playground like school, when someone is being attacked, I would get when I first saw that teasing the person, making jokes about it. I would just that.
They said it's at school and churches, organization, career. But how would you do that for me?